Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome into the last Grizzlies game day update of 2021. That means it's the last game for the Grizzlies before the new year. They will take on the San Antonio Spurs tonight at 7 o'clock at FedEx Forum. And Michael Wallace, the first 5,000 fans tonight, will get Dillon Brooks, shades. Dillon Brooks will not be available tonight, but the vibes will still be there. Let's go really quickly into the injury report because I feel like it's the most important thing when it comes to like who the heck is playing for both of these teams. The Grizzlies unfortunately have a very long list and it seems to just be getting longer by the minute. So with injuries, Santi Aldama is out, Sam Merrill and Zaire Williams is out. Health and safety protocols, which we know change by the minute. As of right now, it's Dillon Brooks, so sad because of the glasses, Jarrett Culver, John Conchar, D'Anthony Melton, Yves Pons, Xavier Tillman, and Shaq Buchanan. That was the newest one that I was just so sad because he just took such great advantage of the opportunity that he got last game. Looking on the other side, they've got three big guys out. Lonnie Walker is questionable, and then DeJounte both out, and then Zach Collins out, of course.
Yeah.
How do you take that?
Yeah, it's survival of the most available, basically, is what you got to look at this point. DeJounte Murray is still in health and safety protocols. He's their best player. And, the San Antonio Spurs have been a team that's obviously in a rebuilding. They're not the Spurs that we're used to, but they had just come off of 3 straight wins before they lost their most recent game the other night. So, this is a team that's capable of playing system basketball, sort of like the Grizzlies. When they're down, they still play the Popovich's system, and they still play the kind of brand of basketball that moves the ball, that gets a lot of shots up, and they play together. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, are a team. Look, Kelcey, the Grizzlies are a good team. Like they're a good team right now, and it's not like, okay, well, it's a fluke or they're catching breaks or all of these other things. They're the 4th best team in the Western Conference, and they're solidly 4th best team. There you go, put the guns up. And when you have Ja Morant just casually returning back to your lineup and putting up 30 and 40-point games, Desmond Bane in that backcourt. I mean, when you look at that young backcourt, I can't find another better backcourt at 23 and younger than what the Grizzlies have right now. If you can find one, let me know. But at 23 years old and younger, I don't think there's a better backcourt out there. And I'm just thinking, I'm looking at how they're catching a wave, and the Grizzlies are riding a wave of that success right now. Keep doing that. You should be able to get a win against the Spurs tonight.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really cool game as well, because you had mentioned that the Spurs had won 3 of their last 4 games. 2 of those games were against the Lakers and the Clippers. So they beat the Lakers just like the Grizzlies just did, where Ja had a little 41-piece game to give to LeBron. But I saw something courtesy of Grizzly Bear Blues that they said the first time that Ja Morant scored 40 points in his career was against the Spurs.
Yes.
Last December. So it's kind of a cool, like, he just scored 40 points. We're going up the team that he first scored 40 points against. It would be cool if Ja Morant could end the year on a great note. Like this month he took out CP3, he took out LeBron James, Russell Westbrook. It'd be cool to kind of finish it off with a Happy New Year's with like a huge game by Ja Morant again.
And you're also talking about having off a historic month. The Grizzlies, if they get a win tonight against the Spurs, will have 12 victories in a calendar month. It will be
12. Are you kidding? Yeah. 12. Like
12. There you go. 12. There you go. It will be the most victories they've had in a calendar month since a lot of years. I think it's like 2000. It was in the heart of the Core 4 era. So it's one of those deals where when you win 12 games in a month, you're doing something really, really special. And again, this is a game that sets up for the Grizzlies to win. It's symbolic. Now, Ja Morant, when he scored 40 against the Spurs in that game, it was in a loss, unfortunately, at the beginning of last season. But we know that he's capable of putting together 40-point pieces in victories. He has the first franchise 40-point, 10-assist game and the franchise's first 40-point, 10-rebound game. So, he's already had 3 40-point games in his career. The Grizzlies have only had 12 40-point games overall. And he's basically accounted for 25% of them already, just 3 years into his career. So what a special young player this guy is.
Yeah, we're so lucky to get to cover him and watch him if you're a Grizzlies fan. We know what they do well. Let's talk about the Spurs really quickly so that we are set for the game. These 2 teams are number 1 and number 2 in points in the paint. So that's obviously a huge deal. That's where the Grizzlies like to score. The thing that I thought was interesting, and you kind of touched on it earlier, is that the Spurs do play as a team. They are real high when it comes to assists. They share the ball and move the ball, and everybody scores. Obviously, they have their guys who are scoring, more, like they're getting 20, but like they're a lot like the Grizzlies in terms of like, you're going to look down that box score at the end of this game and everyone's going to have an impact. So how do you stop that?
I mean, you just, you do the same thing, right? You make sure that everyone on your squad is a live option in terms of being a capable scorer. And we've seen that. It's unfortunate that we have so many guys in the health and safety protocols or injured, because even guys that were stepping up to fill in are now out and unavailable. I really hate this for John Conchar and a guy like that. This would be a time under normal circumstances where a Jared Culver can really step in and show what he can do. But he's out too. So it's almost like it's really, really Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. It's really the starters have to come in and just control this game. And that's one of the things and as far as stopping the Spurs, force turnovers. They have a lot of guys that are out. A lot of their primary ball handlers are out. And force these turnovers, get them in transition and score the other way. Get out early and not let them get confident coming into this game. They're not going to quit. But one thing I do know about Popovich is he's going to have his team prepared. Taylor Jenkins is going up against his mentor in Greg Popovich. And so, that's going to make for an interesting coaching chess match. So when you look at those kind of dynamics, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a game that's going to be highly competitive. But what the Grizzlies ultimately need to do is get out early, not let San Antonio get confidence, and then go ahead and win this game, close out the new year, and send us off into our New Year's Eve and just do our thing after that. But I'm looking forward to an exciting game and an exciting night for the Grizzlies.
All right, real quick, your key player to watch tonight.
It's going to, for me, it's going to continue to be Desmond Bane on both ends of the floor. You know what I mean? And he's just a special player right now. He's having a phenomenal month. And he really, at the 30th overall pick, that's the kind of thing that the Spurs do. Take a number 30 guy and then make him into a bona fide star. And the Grizzlies are doing that with Desmond Bane. Who do you see?
I'm going to go Jaren Jackson Jr. I feel like he has a little bit of a mismatch tonight with everyone who is out. And I think he deserves a big game. He's ready for a big game.
He's due
for a big game. Guys, like I said, the game tips off at 7:00. So you can get tickets and come join us at FedEx Forum. You can get those at 901-888-HOOP. You can stay home and get ready for your New Year's and watch it on Bally Sports Southeast. Or if you're driving around doing your thing, turn it up on the radio if you're cooking some dinner for your friends, because we're being safe this New Year's Eve. You can listen on the radio, 92.9 ESPN Radio. And make sure you're following along all of our social channels at MemGrizz.